So what we're going to do in a few minutes is we're going to do an evaluation to see if you were in the right place. I'm going to have you lie face down. I'm going to start down here at the tailbone or sacrum. And I'm going to check both of these joints right here. These are called the sacroiliac joints. And then I'm going to go up your spine and I am going to put pressure on each and every vertebra to see if anything is tender or sensitive just to that pressure. I'm going to check out here along the side of your spine, because as soon as something begins to shift, the body's first response is always the same. Muscles will splint to try to protect it. Now we know every joint in the body has an alignment. We've always known falls, car wrecks, sports injuries, anything that gives you a sudden jerk can instantly change it. But it can happen slowly. Postures you sleep in, work in, repetitive motions, over time it can change. Another major thing is this. About 80% of all humans have an anatomical short leg. I have worn a 5mm heel lift in my right shoe for over 60 years. Without that heel lift, I can't get stability here. If this is off, everything else begins to compensate. There should be 3 arches in your foot. Most people are aware of this one called the medial arch, but there is a lateral and a transverse or a metatarsal arch. Same thing, if the arches are compromised, it can cause compensatory changes to go all the way up. Structurally, we know everything starts at the bottom of the foot, and then things compensate to get us in balance to gravity. Neurologically, everything starts here and goes down. So if whatever it was that caused something to shift out of alignment, if that didn't kill you, you're going to heal. The question is always, what position will it be in after it heals? If something's even slightly out of alignment, it creates an abnormal stress. Give that joint about a 20-year period, it will go from a healthy joint like this to one that looks more like that. What do most people most commonly call joints that look like this? Got an idea?
Arthritis.
Exactly, arthritis. Now in the medical world, this is called degenerative disc disease. If it happens in any other joint, it's degenerative joint disease, but most people have always known this as arthritis. Most people think, oh, no arthritis, that's just normal aging. You get old, you get arthritis. Well, if that were true, you wouldn't just have it in a hip or in your neck. You do not age in spots. You age uniformly. What causes this? Earlier in life, something altered the mechanics of it, and it was never right. So every time the person moved, it was scrape, grind, rub, wear, and very, very gradually, the joint breaks down. The joint starts getting smaller and smaller. At the same time, the body will begin to send calcium to the area because the calcium is tougher and stronger than muscles. Calcium forms these things called bone marrow. Well, that's inside the bone. Bone spurs. Technically, they're called osteophytes, but most people always know the term bone spurs. And what's trying to happen is eventually it is trying to fuse it together. Now, this will happen in any joint in the body, and it is not unusual for a person to have it in a hip or a knee. And they get down in this range somewhere and they start having symptoms, and they go to a doctor, and the doctor says, oh gosh, you've got bone rubbing on bone. And they do a hip or knee replacement. Now the funny thing is, it's almost always just on one side. If age caused that, not only would it be both sides, it'd be every joint in your body. Spine's a little different. The disc makes the joint space, but that joint space determines the size of the opening for the nerves that are controlling every function in our body. So as this process occurs, the opening for the nerve begins to close down. And then, if it's spinal nerves, take a look at this chart. Spinal nerves are the ones we consciously control. If they are irritated, they can cause pain, burning, numbness, tingling. And of course, if it's down here in the lower back and it's getting irritated, that's when people start having it go out into a hip. Or maybe it starts to go down the leg. Maybe it goes all the way down the foot and toes, called sciatica. Or maybe up here, it starts working out into the shoulder. Or maybe in the arm. Maybe they start having numbness in the fingers, or they start getting the headache problems. Well, spinal nerves we consciously control, but that's only 10% of our nervous system. What's the other 90? The other 90 functions automatically. It's called the autonomic nervous system. This is what controls all the organs in the body. But that 90% doesn't have pain fibers. So what happens when things are going bad over here, most people never know they have a problem until it gets pretty advanced, and then things start going haywire. So pain can actually be a good thing because it tells you something is causing that pain. And so the options are, well, for most people, the first thing is this, right? Maybe it'll go away. When that doesn't happen, usually second thing is, what can I take to alleviate the pain? The average person that comes in here been to 2 to 3 other doctors with the same problem before they came here. 10-15% of the people we see every day have had previous spinal surgeries. And so I'm not against that. I mean, there is a time and a place for everything. But my point is, can we find out what's actually causing the problem to begin with? If we can find out what's causing the problem, then maybe we can do something to change that. Maybe you can do something, or maybe you should stop doing something that's causing it. So that's why we do an exam. I'll have you lie face down. I'll start at the base of your spine, and we are going to check each one. We'll do that in just a minute. Hole, and then I want your hands right down there. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start right here at the sacral joints. So we'll go in both sides like this and put pressure in here. Any of those areas tender or sensitive to pressure?
Not really.
Not really. So now I'm going to keep my hand here, and I want you to not bend your knee. I want you to keep the leg straight and move it from the hip joint. Lift this leg as high as it will go. Okay, and down. Lift that right one as high as it will go. Okay, pretty much exactly the same. And a lot of times we'll see the one leg won't nearly go like the other leg. And then we'll go down here at the base of your spine. Any tenderness there? Maybe a little. Anything there? Now I'm going to go all the way up. So you let me know anything that stands out to you, and I will do the same. Right in there?
Yeah.
Yeah, right in there is tender. This one here? Up here?
Not as bad.
Getting away from it. Anything there? But when we're right in this area in here, that's different, right?
Yeah.
Now we'll go out here and check the muscles. So start here on the muscles on top of your shoulders. They're both tight, but the one on the left side's a little bit tighter than the one on the right side. And then we'll go down through here, a little tighter along that right shoulder, right in there. Now I want you to lie on your back, please. And we're going to check each one up here in your neck. Okay, let your head relax. And we'll go right up through here. Tender on that right side. That's right there. There. And it goes all the way up. Some on the left one there. Okay, let your head relax. And then check your clavicles. When I get out here, does that bother you at all?
Yeah.
Both sides or more on one?
I'm almost like more on this one.
On that one. Now, if you'll stand up for me. Here is your eyes back. Now what I want you to do, one hand at a time, put your fingers on your opposite shoulder. Keep your fingers there, but take the elbow as high as you can take it. Okay, let that one down. Do the left one, high as it will go. A little tighter on that side. Next thing we're going to do is see how balanced you are. So step over here. I want you to put your left foot there and your right foot there. Look straight ahead, staying completely relaxed. Let your arms hang to your side. Stand totally relaxed. It'll take a few seconds and then I'll have you look down. And you can look down. 71 and 70. That is very, very close. I mean, 1 pound is, a lot of times we'll see people 15, 20, 25 pounds off on one side and they don't know it. It feels normal to them. Now I'm going to look at your posture. Your posture is the window to the spine and nervous system. I want to see how your body aligns to gravity without your eyes controlling it. So close your eyes and do the hokey pokey. Hips, everything. Now back to what feels comfortable. Don't move a muscle, just to open your eyes. Hold that position and I will look at you from head to toe. This is slight, but you're going to see it. Don't move anything. Notice the space between your left arm. Now look in the mirror. Notice the space between your left arm and hip. Notice one over here. See how this one's a little bit closer on this side? So everything is kind of wanting to shift that way. From the side view, the hole for the ear should be back here on the plane of your shoulders. Your head is sitting about that far in front of that. So in other words, that's where your head should sit. And that feels weird, right? That doesn't feel normal to. Still hold that position. And then we'll go down here. Okay, hips aren't level. You're down on this side, on the right side. So you can step down off of there. So go ahead and have a seat. So all of those things we just did are indicators that something's off. So what we're going to do is precision postural weight-bearing pictures of your spine. In the medical world, they only have one justification for imaging, and that is pathology. They are looking for fractures and or tumors. They're not even thinking about alignment. So that's why MRIs and everything are done lying down. You can get the sharpest, clearest picture when you're lying down. However, when you're lying down, it doesn't tell us anything about how your body aligns to gravity. So after I get these pictures, I'm going to analyze them. I'm going to draw lines, measure things. And then we'll have you come in here and I'll take those pictures, put them in a monitor. Everything we do is digital. We'll put them in a monitor and I'll go through them with you. So anything that's off, you can see exactly where it is, to what degree it is. You know, if there's any of this arthritic stuff going on, which would be very, very unusual in a person your age, if there's anything like that going on, you can see right where it's at and to what degree it is. And then once we can see what's causing the problem, what can we do to help change that? But again, what can you do, or maybe what you shouldn't be doing that's actually creating the problem? Does that make sense? Good. I'm going to have Carly do those pictures.